Across fiction, there are many tragic fallen characters. Paul Atreides, Anakin Skywalker, Eren Yeager. But today, I do not want to talk about the monsters, no. Today, I want to talk about the one who loved the monster, Mikasa Ackerman. When people talk about the most layered and well-written characters in Attack on Titan, Mikasa is rarely the first name brought up, and I think that's a shame. Because thematically, Mikasa is at the very core of what Attack on Titan is really about. Eren, by all accounts, becomes a monster. He is a force that cannot be moved, a slave to his own ideals, a flame that burns so violently within himself that in the end he burns the world itself. So what happens to the one who chooses to love the monster? What happens to the one who has to bear the burden of that love? What happens to the one who, in my opinion, ultimately breaks the cycle of being enslaved to one's own ideals and desires? That is where Mikasa comes in. From the moment we meet her, Mikasa is defined by her protectiveness over Eren. But that devotion does not come from nowhere. When Mikasa had lost everything, when she had lost even the will to live, Eren rescued her. He wrapped that scarf around her, gave her warmth, and gave her a reason to keep going. That moment changed everything. Her love, loyalty, admiration, and her attachment to Eren all stem from that first act of salvation. And because of that, many people reduce Mikasa to being one-dimensional. But I think that reading misses the point entirely. Because Eren is to Mikasa what freedom is to Eren. Just as Eren is driven, consumed, and ultimately enslaved by his vision of freedom, Mikasa is consumed by her love for Eren. After everything she endured, after losing her family and being thrown into a cruel world, Eren became the person her heart attached itself to absolutely. In many ways, Mikasa too was a slave, not to power, not to ideology, but to love. Eren is the only remnant left of what family Mikasa has. Her adopted family, buried. Her real family, dead. Eren represents all of Mikasa's love, hope, and a possible future. And that is what makes her so tragic. When Eren begins the rumbling, Mikasa is forced to confront the true nature of her feelings, not just whether she loves him, but what that love means. That is why her role in the ending is so important. Ymir was waiting for someone like Mikasa, someone who could do what she never could, someone who could love deeply, completely, and still choose to end the very person they loved. Mikasa had to do what Ymir could not, separate love from enslavement, and that is why Eren's words to her hurt so much, because there is a twisted truth buried inside them. Mikasa was, in a sense, a slave to her feelings for him. Her love for Eren had both become the thing that gave her strength and the thing that trapped her. Mikasa could have chose to run away, Mikasa could have chose to turn away, yet she never stopped fighting for her love, and that burden of love is precisely what pushed her to stop Eren. That duality is what makes her so fascinating, because Attack on Titan constantly returns to the theme that nobody is truly free. As Kenny once said, everyone had to be drunk on something just to keep moving forward. For Eren it was freedom, for Grisha it was revolution, for Reiner it was being a hero, for Annie it was seeing her father, and for Mikasa it was her love for Eren. But what makes Mikasa different is that she is the one who finally overcomes her cage. She is the one who frees herself. And what looked like a split-second decision, the story had been subtly building Mikasa up to the point it always had to be her. The monster that she loved more than anyone else, he had to always die by her hands. And yet, mixed with that was grief that lasted a whole lifetime, guilt that never went away. As we saw Mikasa frequently visited Eren's grave, it was a curse, a burden she had to carry for the rest of her life. It was the price for loving a monster. Even in real life, we see many cases where victims, after enduring abuse or being forced to live under the weight of someone harmful, are left carrying wounds that never really fully heal, and yet some still love the person who hurt them. Some are never truly able to overcome a version of love that has been traumatically reinforced within them. That is exactly what makes Mikasa's story so powerful, and why the choice she makes carries such weight. She chooses to break free from the monster she loved, to break free from the bond that had kept her trapped for so long. When I say this, I'm not saying Eren is an abuser solely. No, I'm saying Mikasa is a victim of Eren's choices, putting her in unbelievable positions and forcing having her make choices she would not want to make, and yet she does. And in doing so, Mikasa shows us something that Attack on Titan had been building towards all along, that freedom has a cost, that love can become a burden, and that sometimes the deepest act of freedom is being able to end what you love, a sacrifice. What so many other characters fail to overcome, the desires, ideals, and attachments that enslave them. Mikasa was the only person who could.